Okay, today's date is August 17, 2024. We're here at the Sarto Retreat House, the Catholic Center, and these two gentlemen are going on a bus trip in Washington, D.C. A plane's going to take them, and they're going to get on a white bus in Washington, D.C. It's called the Honor Flight. The Honor Flight was started here more than a decade ago, and we've taken a lot of veterans. They're going to take 80 plus this time. We started with World War II veterans, we went to Korean, and we're doing a lot of Vietnam now. But it's a real great honor. And back in 1936, everybody went by train, and they were Civil War people. They had close to 4,000, a lot from the South, a lot from the North, and they did that for a whole week at Gettysburg. So this is symbolic over 100 years later, just about. Okay, we're going to first interview Tom Kick. He's going to be on the bus, and he's a Marine Corps, as you see his hat. And then Bob Reutter. Reutter. Okay, let's pronounce that right. Reutter. Okay, he's Marine Corps too. So we'll first talk about Tom, where you're born and when you were born, Tom. Let's start and speak up because I got noise issues.
St. Louis, Missouri.
What date? What's your birth date?
May the 3rd, 1947.
Okay, and then why'd you come to Evansville? And when did you come to Evansville?
Dad worked for Alcoa. We moved to Newburgh. I worked my last year of high school there.
At Castle?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. And then when you enlisted in the Marines, and where was your boot camp, and then where were your duties?
I enlisted in the Marine Corps at IU. I was up there going to college, and I had all the schooling I wanted. And I come home in November and ended up in San Diego.
So boot camp in San Diego. I was stationed there for 7 years. They've done a lot of movies there of San Diego. It's a real nice boot camp, beautiful, and they still are open right now in 2024. So that's called the Hollywood boot camp, not Paris Island. So you were a smart guy getting there. How'd you get that when it was Paris Island with the mosquitoes?
I don't know.
Well, you were lucky.
I went in the winter time, and I was at IU. They said anybody this side of the Mississippi went to Girl Scout camp. Well, they didn't. They sent me Boy Scout camp.
Boy Scout camp, yeah. And so then after boot camp, which is 8 weeks or so, then where'd you go?
I went to ITR for a month, went home, leave. I went down to Memphis to go to school, ended up getting hurt, so I ended up clerking for a first sergeant for a year. Then they ended up sending me home on a temporary disability retirement list.
How'd you get hurt?
I had a seizure.
Did you? Uh-huh. And so had to get out after about a year. Yeah.
No, they sent me home from active duty, put me on temporary disability retirement list for $50 a month.
I see, yeah.
Then they finally discharged me, recommended for re-enlistment in April of '69, 10%.
Do you remember your boot camp and how effective that was? When I reflect on boot camp and people, these guys, they get married to the other boots in a way, in that it's Semper Fi, always faithful, and they have a real affiliation with those other boots that they've never had in their life before. But there's a camaraderie that you can never know about.
That's my book, Boot Camp.
Your book of boot camp, because you remember a lot of those guys. Some. Yeah. That's a couple years ago. Yeah. What do you think there, Tommy, about what we should say to the younger generation about the military and about our freedom?
We need to back our freedom up and volunteer to go in the military. It ain't going to hurt you.
Yeah. You learn something. You learn discipline.
Yeah, you learn all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Discipline. Take care of your mate, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have a good trip here. You're going in next week or two.
No. October
5th, they're going to Washington, D.C. on the white bus, and so you're going to have a good time. I went a few years ago, and it's excellent. So I'm going to ask you some questions here, Bob. This is Bob Reutter.
Yes.
Reutter. Okay, Bob. Let me tell me, it's R-E-U-T-E-R, and you're going to cut me Tom. Are you related to Tom?
Nope.
No relation. Okay.
We're brothers.
Him and his wife were good friends of Alice.
Okay, of Alice? Yeah. Okay, so tell me how many years, where you got in the Marine Corps, and tell me what you did, and speak up and whatever. Where you born? What school did you go to?
Was born here in Evansville, October the 24th, 1948. Went to first, second, and third grade at 3 different schools. My dad bought disrepaired houses and rebuilt them, and we lived in them. They call that house flipping now, but they didn't call it that then. From 3rd grade through 8th, I went to Howard Reutter. Went to Boise High School for 4 years. Got out and went to work because I wasn't in the mood to go to college. Joined the Marine Corps in August of '67. Went to boot camp in November of '67, Paris Island. Real Marine, not a Hollywood Marine. Why did I join the Marine Corps? Had a stepfather who did not respect me as a person. I was a very, very shy person, and I wanted to prove to both him and me that I could do anything. And I'd heard a lot of stories about Marine Corps boot camp. November of '67, they were going through Marines much too quickly in Vietnam. I joined the Marine Reserves here in Evansville, so I did 6 months active duty and then came home. As far as talking to the young people today, we've got the best country there is, but like anything good, there's a cost, and we need to share the cost among everybody. So joining any branch of the service is a way to learn respect for yourself, some discipline, to learn maybe a trade if you need one. There are a lot of good reasons to join, not just the military, but some kind of service to our country. So, I mean, that kind of sounds rah, red, white, and blue, but I believe in our country, and I believe it's worth fighting for. So, the Marine Corps sounds like a banner, but once a Marine, always a Marine. I am a brother to every Marine that's ever been. Like Tom, I was on active duty 50 years ago, but it's as much a part of me today as it ever was.
Thank you both very much. A couple of historical things. You said, Bob, that you were in the reserves, and also we had a reserve unit here in 1950s that went to the Charlie Company, went to the Chosin Reservoir. And about 150 of them thought they weren't going to do anything. They were right in the middle of everything. About 10,000 troops were surrounded by North Korean and Chinese. It was only 30 degrees below zero.
Ask Danny. Ask John Mills.
John Mills.
Do you know John?
Is he still living?
Yes.
We need to interview him because I have very few people from the Chosin Reservoir. It was every Memorial Day we talk about the Chosin Reservoir. It was, for them to escape that, it was absolutely amazing. So I want to interview John Mills, but when you hear about that, you don't know how bad it was, but it was worse than terrible. Mitzendorf was there, and another guy, he was a teacher at Central High School, a golfer, a little guy, he was a coach there, and I forget his name.
Gunny will tell you about it.
I'm going to have to talk to Mr. Mills. The other thing is we're doing at the Evansville Wartime Museum, we're doing an exhibit on Iwo Jima. And that has more Medal of Honors for the Marines than any other one time. It was a very difficult time, lost close to 24,000 people in that battle. But we're doing a special on Iwo Jima. We've got a guy, he's 99, and he gave us an interview, Joe, and he's got an Italian last name, but he was on the ground 36 days there, and so we've got a film on it, and you have to come to the museum and look at it. We should have it done next 3 months, but, you know, USMC, Semper Fi, what both of you said, it's a brotherhood that never goes away, and until you understand it, it's very difficult for outsiders to understand it, but Semper Fi means a lot to me. It took me a long time to figure that out, but Semper Fi, always a brother, always a Marine. Any other comments you want for the people?
So John lives right around the corner from the museum. He's at Melrose Place, so he's really close to you.
You don't get out much.
I don't care. We'll go to him. Melrose, I know where it is. What floor, what room, I'll find him.
Okay.
Yeah.
just be prepared to listen for a while.
That's all right. We
John-
want to hear
John
that
Guitar.
story. I don't have any, and Chosen was very representative from Evansville. Very, very, and he's one of them. I don't have anybody left that I know of, so I really got to get to him. I will try to get to him in the near future.
Appreciate it.
Did you ever meet Roy Jolly?
No.
Roy's been dead probably 15 years. He was in that reserve unit. Have you read the book Unexpected Journey?
No, I have not.
You need to.
Yeah.
You really do. It was written by a professor at Oakland City who was one of the reservists. A lot of those guys were 18, 19 years old. They joined for extra money for their families, 1948, 49. And then all of a sudden, they're activated and they got their boot camp on the train between here and California. You would really enjoy the book, Unexpected Journey.
We'll read that.
And Mr. Velker was in the Marine Corps.
Jim Velker.
Jim Velker.
He was discharged and drafted in the Army to go to Korea.
Velker, the Velker hardware, the hardware, yeah, hardware, yeah.
Yeah,
I did-
just-
We did his funeral not too long ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we did Charlie Mitzdorfer's funeral.
Charlie Mitzendorf, yeah, he was in there.
He was a medic.
Yeah.
About maybe 15 years ago, we got a call from some ladies who were asked us to do the birthday cake ceremony for the remainder of those guys from Charlie Company. So we went out to St. John's UCC on Outer Lincoln Avenue and did the Marine Corps birthday cake ceremony for them, and then stayed around and visited with them after. There were about 12 or 14 of them left then. So.
That's great. Well, appreciate the time, and come on out to the museum. We're going to have that Iwo Jima exhibit up, and then I got to talk to Mr. Mills. Thanks again. Have a good trip now.